What's that on the screen?
I've tried recording this a few times, which has kind of slowed down my uploads, but I think just being short and to the point is the way to go with this. Okay, so you probably know what this is about. The argument that in these high-speed 3D platformers, the emphasis is only on leaping over everything because of how fast you go. And that's what I want to talk about. I really don't agree here. Like, yes, I get it. You can do that. You can cause situations where you jump over a lot of things. But that's not regular gameplay. Everything you're seeing right now, all speedrun attempts. All with knowledge of certain mechanics that any casual player is not going to know and probably not going to care about unless they want to get hardcore into it. It's a reward for mechanical knowledge, experimentation, and knowledge of the layouts. The idea that you skip all the level design is just kind of weird to me because I'd argue that sections like these are the level design, and if you knew how big the levels were, you'd know that you really aren't skipping anything. It's just like the big leaps from the Genesis games. The only difference is that the 3D games seem to be scaled much bigger. Like, a loop in a 3D game is much slower to go through than in any of the classics. I don't know for sure, but it seems like the scale is built to give you some time to strategize and to give you room to stay on track. Let's look at this level here. This is from Spark the Electric Jester 3, and it's a very short side stage of the first level. Usually the side stages are built for you to really let loose with some of the mechanics, while the main levels are made to keep the player in check a little more for the most part. And even beyond all this, you would need to know what to do in order to skip huge chunks anyway, like level layouts, mechanics, timings, all of that. All of that has to come together at once. Another thing to note, one of the major things people praise about Shadow Generations is an exploit where you mash the Chaos Spear button to reduce air drag and get farther jumps, because the default jumps are very limited or scripted, and as much as I hate the exploit for looking weird, there's no denying that it adds flexibility to the routing and overall gameplay. This Chaos Spear thing kind of brings me to a topic I want to talk about in a separate video maybe. Sonic Team seems to really like railroading the player, and this Chaos Spear tech shows that players like making their own ways through levels. And you just can't do that if the level is riddled with these dash hoops and scripted set pieces and jump pads everywhere, and like, this is how you play the level, and there's this alternate path that you can do that's done this specific way. Meanwhile, players are using the Chaos Spear tech to just bypass a lot of that, or to interact with these things in a different way that Sega most likely didn't intend. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I just think the Chaos Spear tech looks stupid, but the way it's used I think is really, really good. Now, if only Sega could embrace that. Not by making it an intended mechanic, but like changing the gameplay so that people can do that with the built-in moveset of the character they're using. Take a look at this clip from Spark 3. I'm not going the main route here, but I'm still using the level design and the mechanics given to me to create my own route. No glitches, no exploits, it's all in-game mechanics, and it's just so cool to have that level of creativity and freedom. And look at this one. You could say I'm skipping a whole bunch of level here, but it's a hallway, and we have a wall run function. I think all of this is intended for us to really customize our runs. My main point here is, with a good level, everything is level design. Everything takes into account the mechanics that you have at your disposal, and you can make some interesting runs that way. And it doesn't look out of place or weird, because it's all just integrated, it's all smooth. I just wish Sega would let players let loose a little more. trust the players to be able to do things on their own and show their ingenuity. I really hope all this made sense. But thanks for watching, and take care of yourselves.